what is up, guys? Wanted to bring this World of Tanks replay of a game that I recently had in Himmelsdorf while driving my BZ-176 to you, so let's jump right into it. Looking into the teams list here, first thing you're going to notice is that the top tiers consist of 1 heavy tank and 3 medium tanks. Our team has a T-175 and the enemy team has an AMX-50B. What that tells me is that the AMX-50B is likely to go on top of the hill while the T-175 may or may not. So it's something I have to be thinking of during this fight. Other than that, not too much going on in the enemy team, so let's jump into the battle. So, starting position, I'm definitely going to take my BZ on top of the hill just because of the hold down potential and the rocket boosters that are going to give me an early start. So, gonna make my way on top of the hill. Looks like our team is gonna have a couple mediums up here, which will be good. And it looks like our T-175 was gonna go on top of the hill, but he decided to change flanks. Now, since we have a light tank on our team, I'm actually going to push to the right side of the castle and see if I can get any early shots off on any tank destroyers around the G3, G4 area. However, that was not able to happen. Now I want to pause it for a second and just kind of zoom out and take a look at what's going on. So the enemy teams got all 3 of their top tier mediums and their top tier heavy tank on top of the hill, which is dangerous for us, but it's something we can handle. While we got 2 top tier mediums, Scorpion G, and a couple tier 8s along with our K91. And because I didn't have any shots on tank destroyers down below, I'm actually going to switch sides of the castle. So I'm going to come over to this flank and see if I can get any shots off. Now at the time, I didn't notice that the STB-1 had been spotted there. So that's why I wanted to try and get a shot off on the 50B. But I ended up driving out in front of the STB-1 and Progetto. Fortunately, I was able to land my shot, but it was definitely not worth the damage that I took at the time. Now, I loaded up the second shot. Want to go in for... want to see if I can kind of sneak maybe a second one into the STB-1, go up, get the spot on them. Not a good angle, and I noticed that their BZ wants to poke around and get a shot at me. Now, one thing to note about this guy is that he is driving out with his side, this flat to us. And at this time, I'm not going to be able to get a shot off. But what that tells me is that since he did it once and didn't get punished for it, he is likely to do it again. So I want to back off. I don't like being in this close fight, especially since their BZ could come around the corner and even potentially one-shot me. So I'm going to try to get a shot off there. Not a great shot. Goes into his mid plate. Only 70 damage there. And I am going to back off a little bit farther and try to get a better angle on them. So at the time of the battle, what my thinking process was is that since we have our 2 tier 10 mediums, both are at full health, and a Scorpion G, they're actually going to be able to hold this right flank fairly well on the hill. And so what I want to do is I want to get a better angle to support our T103 and our K91 PT. The first position I'm going to take is this sort of left side of the dip. And what I can do here is I can just poke up. I'll be hold down and potentially try to hit this BZ. I'm gonna switch to an AP shell, try to overmatch the roof deck on him, and unfortunately the shot doesn't land. So while I'm reloading, I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a better angle by moving over to this rubble pile. And what this will do for me is instead of just lining up beside the T103, I'll actually be able to create somewhat of a crossfire with him and the K91. So fortunately for me, there. BZ-176 turns his side for me as he's trying to back around the corner, and fortunately again the BZ on the enemy team takes a big hit, which will definitely make him one-shottable for me. Now, not sure what our K91 PT was thinking, but he decided that he wanted to die nice and quick, so he just drove over the rubble pile, maybe trying to kill the BZ, but it definitely didn't work out for him. That's one thing I want to point out, is that was a great play by our Scorpion to push up and get that free shot while our K91 was getting himself killed. So definitely want to point out that great play by him. And he's actually drawing out this Progetto for me to land a nice shot into his side. Unfortunately, the Scorpion dies there, and what I'm just doing is I'm just trying to reload and see where my best shot will be. Definitely want to get this Progetto out right here. Not sure what he was thinking. It was definitely a bad play. Maybe he was just wanting to flank and kill our TDs, but it was not the right time with me sitting in this position here ready to counter him. So I'm going to pause for half a second and look at what we have going on. So the enemy team is being really aggressive. Not sure why they're feeling so confident, considering we have two tier 10 mediums with very high DPM sitting in the dip and me setting up a crossfire to support them, but they are. And what you're going to see is that this 121B is coming over to support me. He's going to put a shot into the AMBT, and then I'm going to poke out to finish him. Now, good shot by the enemy Progetto to put one into me and just to lower my hit points down, but 100% worth me taking that damage to get another gun out of the battle. Now, with that 121B moving over to help me out, the enemy tier 10s are gonna push out and try to kill the STB-1. Smart play by our 121 to go over and support him. I put a big shot into the AMX-50B, put him down, and our 121 and SCB took out a couple of very valuable targets there. So 3 of us versus 1 AMX-50B. There's a good chance he was reloading as well, and we have now won the hill. So at this point, I've got a couple options. I could either push the enemy side of the hill and try to flank. I could go back and try to go towards our spawn, or what you're going to see me do here is try to get this tortoise while I can. Try to snapshot him a little bit there since he was about to make it around the edge of the building. Unfortunately, doesn't connect, but I'm not going to move from here because I want to get this tortoise out of the game. He's got high DPM, he's almost full health, and he can't move out of that position without exposing his vehicle to those of us on the hill. So I'm just going to patiently wait. He's going to poke out, wanting to move forward, and he's going to take 810 to the side. He turns to try to engage our ST1 and E25, and our 121B is going to put a nice shot into him, and he is unfortunately going to make it back around that corner. But as we can tell from our perk there that he has lost his ammo rack, so he is likely going to back around the corner to try to get that repaired and also not to get himself killed. Looks like he's reloaded, he's poked back around, he doesn't die. But what I'm thinking now is that since the enemy has a few tanks, they could sit into the base. I need to go ahead and start making the flank to just to ensure that we don't lose to an unfortunate cap. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making my way down the hill. The reason I didn't go back towards our spawn is because our E75 and ST1 had that flank covered. Our SCB was taking the mid, and I wanted to take the southern route just to make sure we've had that we've covered all the angles, and hopefully to pick up a little bit of extra damage towards the end of this game. And right here, I'm gonna go ahead and use one of my last boosters. And what I see is that we've spotted the 7-4. I'm gonna try to line up a shot, go for it, and unfortunately it doesn't penetrate. Maybe I just hit a bad angle for that side armor, but we're gonna try to push up and see if we can finish him off from here. And from here it's pretty much just clean up. The SCB-1 finishes off the 7-4, and I see their EOS even 90. Try to flank on this side. I load an AP shell just to save the credits, and he decides to just lay down for me. And that'd be the end of the battle. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you would like to see more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe for more.